Good day, fashion friends. In today's tutorial, I will be utilizing these fun fabrics that I found while thrifting in Tempe and make them into a purse. Stay tuned. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you for viewing, subscribing, liking, commenting, anything that you can do to feed the algorithm monster. And be sure to check out any of my other tutorials that you see listed that you might be interested in. I do upcycles, refashions, and I do multiple genres. That includes fairycore, cottagecore, boho, streetwear, just anything that catches my eye and inspires me. So, welcome to my creative world. In today's tutorial, I will be following somebody else's tutorial that I found on YouTube. I will disclose the name here, but it was a very simple, she called it a patchwork denim, but it kind of wasn't patchwork, it was more like stripes. So what she did, she had different colors of denim and sewed them across a panel. And they were different sizes and different colors, and then made them into a purse, yada, yada, yada. Well, I found this fun fabric while thrifting, and it's a nice heavy upholstery type fabric, and I could not resist because immediately when I saw these fun colors, I was thinking these need to be made into a purse. So that's what we're going to do today. So I cut a pattern that is 19 by 30 centimeters. My backing material is just some thin denim scrap from a previous project. And I just traced a 19 by 30 piece onto each of these and ironed them nicely. Your strips of fabric that you're going to use, it doesn't say how wide they need to be because she had them cut in different widths. But the length does have to be 19 centimeters, and you're going to see why in just a moment. When you are attaching these to your backing panel, and this is not going to be the liner, when you're attaching these to your backing panel, once you get done sewing, whatever is hanging over, you will trim off. And you will see that as I progress through the tutorial. Okay, she starts off where you put one piece flat. Then you're going to take your next strip, and this could be anything. And you're going to put right sides together. And then you're going to stitch along the edge. And then flip it over and press it down. So let me do that and I will be back. Okay, I ended up having to trim my sides with pinking shears because this likes to fray, as you can see. I stitched the first piece on, about a 1/4 inch seam allowance, folded this over, pressed it, and now I will top stitch all along. All right, next piece, I want it to be the checks. So I am going, and since this is kind of cut off here, I am going to trim this with pinking shears. You're going to lay right sides together, stitch, flip, and press. And you're going to continue that all the way across. To pick up. Okay. So I'm going to trim this with pinking shears, flip it over, stitch, flip, press, top stitch. Okay, I got to the end. Everything is pressed and top stitched, and there was a small piece that I trimmed off. And now I'm going to do this again and make a second piece. Okay, I have my 2 panels completed. Now, I'm not sure if I like that they don't match up because my OCD is getting the better of me. But I have to keep in mind that you're only going to see one side at a time. So you either see this side or this side. So we're just gonna go with it. And I got a couple pieces. For some reason they went on crooked. I don't know why. Hopefully that will straighten itself out. So next step is to flip these over and cut 2 pieces of 19 by 30 interfacing and put 2 layers of interfacing on each piece. Okay, I have my 2 layers of interfacing. However, I have 1 sheet of medium weight and then 2 sheets of lightweight on this side because I ran out of my medium weight and I thought this was medium weight, but definitely is not. So it's not too far off. Okay, next step is to take a 3.5 centimeter by 3.5 centimeter square out of each corner, and then 1 inch in, and then cut this in the little square out. So you'll see what that looks like here in just a second. Okay, so I made a little pattern, 3.5 centimeters by 3.5 centimeters on a card. So you want to put 1 in each bottom corner, and then 1 inch from the edge in, 1 inch from the edge in on both pieces. Then you're going to draw a line from this outer edge to that 1 inch line. Like that on all 4 pieces. Okay, then we're going to cut out this. On all 4 sides. Next, you will need your liner fabric. I really don't have any cotton that is solid. Most everything I have are prints. So I am going to attempt to use this kind of silky gold fabric. And you're going to do the same thing on this as you did to these pieces so that the liner matches. So you're going to do the little squares, the 1 inch in, and then cut out the square as well. Okay, next you're going to need a 21 centimeter zipper. This one is 20, so we're just going to have to make it work. Then you're going to take a 4 centimeter by 4 centimeter square, fold it in half, iron it, unfold it, fold it inside itself, and iron it. And then we are going to stitch this to the zipper. Now, I don't have a white zipper, and I don't have orange material, so this is what we're going to get. It's the only zipper that I have that will match. I have a yellow one, which I'm not fond of. I think the orange one goes much better, so I'm using the orange one. Then we're going to stitch the tabs onto the zipper. Okay, yes, according to the video, apparently this needs to be trimmed because the teeth on her zipper go all the way to the end. Maybe I don't have the right zipper, I don't know. But according to the video, it's supposed to, the little tab is supposed to be right here on the end. I'm going to do the best I can. Okay, I stitched on the white denim that I used to make tabs and trim off the excess. Okay, next she takes 2 more 4 centimeter squares, and this is to make the little tabs on for the crossbody to connect to the strap, the crossbody strap. So I'm going to use the polka dot material and fold it in half, iron it, then fold it into itself and iron it, and then stitch one side and then the other. Okay, the next step in the video is to put a D-ring on the loop and fold it over and stitch it, but I do not have any D-rings. I have everything except a D-ring. So that step may have to wait, but I think I can't move forward until I have those ready to go, because I believe you have to start building the purse and putting the D-rings somewhere in here, so that way when you turn the purse right side out, then it's there, and then you hook the strap on to it. I thought I had some. I have everything, but I don't even have anything I can take apart. Oh, wait a minute. I just saw something. Hold on. Okay, I have these regular circular rings, but nope, I don't think they're going to be big enough. I don't know. That may work in a pinch. You know what? I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Yep, just as I predicted. These have to go in next. So, going to measure 2 centimeters down. Also said 1 inch, so maybe that's about right. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're gonna take this down here 1 inch. I'm gonna make a little mark, and then that is where our, I don't know how flexible this is gonna be. Maybe I should have made it a little bit longer using this thick material. Maybe I should use denim, the white denim. I think this is going to be too thick by the time I get everything else together. Yeah, I'm going to make something a little bit longer and a little bit narrower to fit better. Okay, so I switched to white denim, and because I did not have a D-ring, I went, instead of 4 centimeters, I shortened it to 3 centimeters wide. And then by the time I fold this, it's going to fit nicer in this ring. And I went 4 centimeters in length because I wanted it a little bit longer. I can always cut off excess if I have too much, but I think I like this better. So I'm going to do the same thing with the white denim instead of the upholstery material. It's just too thick. Much nicer. Now, I think we start assembling the purse. Okay, tabs are sewn on, and they will go that way. Okay, now it says I need to find the center. So it's about 10 inches, let's see, 25.5 centimeters. Let's go 10 inches. Okay, 10 inches, so center is 5. And then find the center of the zipper as well. All right, so then you gotta find the center of the zipper. So 7 3/4. So let's do the math on that, huh? Haha, who needs math? We're just gonna fold that in half, and then right there is the halfway mark. So we don't need no math. Okay, so you take the half mark and the half mark. That way your zipper is centered. And line those up, and then she clipped this all the way. Okay, and then I'm going to put my liner material right sides together because we're going to stitch this, and then this is going to flip over that way. I might have to change my foot because I've got my walking foot on and it's pretty bulky. Clip that. All right, and then we're gonna stitch all the way across. Wish me luck. Okay, let's see how this looks. Okay, not bad, not perfect. So then this all has to go this way. But it's not it's not folding. She made it look so easy. Okay, I finally got this to fold over. What I ended up having to do was go back and stitch a wider seam allowance because I had stitched too close to the edge and it just would not flip. It was just sticking out. So I have it ironed down as best as I can get it. And then I'm going to take this back to the machine and top stitch. Although what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to top stitch from the back side to make sure that where my seams are, that they stay down and I don't miss those. Now, this is the second time I've ever done a zipper. It's slightly crooked, but I'm not tearing it out. This side needs to go in just a little bit more, but I don't really think it will be that noticeable once we get the other side. So yes, so now I'm going to top stitch across this. I did try to iron it down and use, I don't know what this is called. I've heard different names, basically like a tailor's clapper, to try to roll these hems down. It seems to be working a little bit. And in the video, she does like tamp down some of these seams. But all right, now I'm going to go attempt to top stitch this down. Okay, I got that stitched on, and that was a struggle. It's a little uneven, but can only be seen on the inside. But I had to use a hump jumper to get over this denim piece, and the seams were causing I still had my zipper foot on because I needed to move my needle to the side in order to see where I was stitching. So it's a little uneven, but that's okay. We've got it down. And it's only on the inside. You can barely see it on the outside. And for my first time, I am okay with that. Okay, next step, you take your other side of the liner, you're going to put it right side up. You're going to take the piece that you just made and put it right side up and line it up with the top of this fabric. Then you're going to take your other piece and flip it. You're going to clip all of that together and then stitch across the top. That way when you flip this over, this will be attached to the zipper. The outer shell will be attached to the zipper. And it will look like this. We're just going about it a different way. So here we go. Gonna try that. Okay, the other side is stitched on, and let's see how. Okay, seems to be all right. Now I need to iron this down. So I'm gonna go do that. Okay, it's definitely not perfect. This part's a little off. Do I feel like tearing it out and fixing it? Not really. And then this side's closer than this side. This is like the second time I've done a zipper. Not a fan. Not a fan at all. I don't know if that's fixable. I did try going back over it and trying to stitch it a little straighter, but I think it's just a matter of I may have to tear it out and do it again. I don't know. I'm such a perfectionist. That's too close. I mean, this side isn't perfect. Oh my God. I have a whole new respect for purse makers and zipper sewers. Like, I don't know what the trick is. What's the trick? I've heard people baste them into place with hand stitching and then sew them in and then take the basting stitch out, and that keeps them from shifting. But I mean, like from here to here, this doesn't look too bad. This, oh, do I top stitch it or do I try to fix it? I don't know if I can at this point. Do I have the patience for that? I don't know if you guys can see, like, look how bad this is. I don't know. I'm going to think about this. Okay, so I made an executive decision. I did not like the way that the zipper looked, so I spent the past hour completely taking apart what I had already sewn. And I am going to try again. Now, with this being upholstery material, I don't know how I'm going to baste the zipper into place. Maybe I should redo this. I don't have any orange material that would match this because that does look kind of odd. But I mean, it is a patchwork. I'm just not sure what to do at this point. I think this is too thick. Even though it's a very thin white denim, if I could find something orange, that might look better. I think I'm going to take this off too. All right, and another thing I did, I added fusible webbing to my silky, very movable material. Okay, this looks much, much better. Still slightly off, like right there. But it's better than it was, for sure. I did end up being able to sew a little bit of a straighter line. The problem is this gets in the way of my zipper foot. So I am just going to go with this. So now back to trying to flip this over and press it down and then top stitch. Okay, I got the top stitching redone. Like I said, I'm still a tiny bit off over here, but I'm not ripping this out again. And then it's like, where do we put the zipper? Do we put it at the end or do we put it at the beginning? Because it just wants to get in the way. Okay, this piece down. This piece down. And then this piece down. Okay. Clip it together. All right. Try it again. Oh my God, why is this so hard? Look what I did. I put my outside on the inside because it's supposed to go like this. Okay, after many attempts, trust me, I've probably had to rip this out 2 or 3 more times. I finally got my zipper in, I got my liner in. It looks a little better than it did before, still slightly off, but moving on. Moving on. Okay, next step is to line up the fronts, the front and back, and line up the liner, and then stitch it all the way around. But we leave an opening over here to try to shove this. I think I'm gonna leave an opening here. She said leave an opening here, and I think this will be hard getting through here and it will rip my material. Let me watch the tutorial. Okay, I'm just gonna follow. I'm gonna follow what she did because I don't want to screw it up. I don't want to use any of my bright ideas and screw it up. So, going to match the shells. Oh wow, that's considerably shorter. How did I do that? So I want this to match up. All right, so I'm going to match this. I'd rather be a little short here and trim that instead. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do next. We're gonna match up and stitch all the way around and leave an opening here where she said, because then the next step is the corners. Okay, I stitched the corners, stitched the corners, and now the moment of truth, trying to get this very stiff material through the liner. Oh, and if you're sewing this, make sure that you open the zipper, because if the zipper's closed, then that just creates more problems. Okay, got it stitched, got it flipped out. There's one tiny little spot here on the bottom that I missed. I tried to go back over and stitch it. It's just going to be what it is, because I don't think I can get in there unless I rip out the corner. I may have to do that because that's going to bug me. I'm tired of wrestling with this purse. This is, hats off to you purse makers. Let me tell you. I don't know how you guys make it seem like it's so easy. This is not easy. This is not for the weak, for sure. Okay, the last step was to press and stitch the opening of the liner. Actually, I should have ironed it before I turned it right side out, but I missed that step. But I was still able to do it, and now you push down the corners. All my corners are popped out. Make sure you pop your corners out here and here, and I did it. I finished it. I did it all by myself. I did it. It was very frustrating, but I did it. How stinking cute is that? Very frustrating. I think what I would do in the future, because this is such a heavy material, I would make this a little bit bigger in size. So that way, instead of trying to deal with 1/4 inch seam allowance or even like 1/8 inch seam allowance, I would allow myself 1/2 inch. So I would make it a little bit bigger and then allow myself some more seam allowance. Maybe I did not allow enough seam allowance. I probably should have done more. But generally, that's kind of what I sew at. I usually don't do a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I do a 1/4 inch. So maybe that was my mistake. Once it's unfolded, the zipper doesn't look too bad. Let me step out and see if I can get that to focus. I don't know if that is showing. No, it is not. It is blurry. Let me see if I can get you a different angle. So here we go. It's a little too close there. And then toward this end here was where I got it a little out too far, but I was running into this part of the zipper. I did change out the material. I found some of this floral material and I just flipped it inside out to give me solid against the orange, and I think that looks much better and much thinner material, so I wasn't dealing with the denim. So that was something that I learned. Yes, I learned a lot. Learned a lot. Now I'm going to see if I am supposed to make a strap for this. I don't think I have any silver hooks, but I will get some once I make the strap and figure out what process that entails. Okay, yes, there is a strap. However, I began to search for hardware. I do have an old purse strap that I had cut off to use something, or I don't know, but the hardware is gold. And I have silver rings and silver teeth. So that's not going to work. However, what I will do is make the strap and sew it, and then I will be ready for hardware when I purchase it. Okay, so I chose one fabric and I went down the edge where I would get all of the multiple colors of the polka dots. So you need I did 7.5 centimeters by, I think this ended up to be like 54 inches or whatever, because I didn't want to cut like a little tiny scrap off. And you go through and you fold in all the way around, and then you fold it in half and press it, and then you stitch all the way around. On the closed end, on the back end is more of like a top stitch, and then sew the ends closed. And then we will be able, once I have the hardware, then I will be able to finish the strap and then be able to attach it to the purse. Okay, so I finished it. It's not 100% finished. I have the strap ready to go, but I need the hardware for the strap. But my zipper definitely came out a little bit better. Size-wise, it's pretty cute. Hello, love.
I ripped my pants. I split. I ripped my pants.
What did you do?
Well, there was a little hole, and then I got in the car, and then there was a bigger hole, and then I got then I got in the car again, and then now I've got very good flexibility.
Okay.
But it's a little drafty.
Especially when they're getting cold.
It's a little drafty.
maybe you ought to find a tailor or somebody that can maybe fix it.
Yeah, so, hi. I would like you to do me, can you make me a pair of jeans?
Well, I could fix your pair of jeans.
Well, yeah, but like you did the cute little patch jeans the other day.
Oh, you want like butterflies and stuff?
Maybe plaid
Plaid?
or something manly. Wrenches, race cars.
I might have some NASCAR material down in
maybe a plaid.
in the bins downstairs.
Yeah, but maybe could you fix them? Because these fit me real nice. Like they don't fall off my butt.
Okay. Look
So,
at you,
I know.
supermodeling. So plaid?
Something.
Okay. Do you want me to close this up? No? But still have the hole there, and then I'll just stitch over that and over.
I want fashiony.
Oh, God.
I want fashiony.
You work in a garage.
I know, but these could become high fashion. Upcycled high fashion. So I want like a patch.
On the outside or the inside?
Inside.
Inside. So you want the fraying to show.
So it's like Christmas when you get advent calendars and you open up and there's a thing in there, it's a prize. Oh, it's all like that, right?
Okay.
Right? Camera's on? Okay, good. That's nice. Here, hi.
Yeah.
So what I want is do like a patch here.
Okay.
Down to here. Mm-hmm. And you may need to do a little something so that these don't keep splitting up into the...
Yeah. I'm going to do a heavy-duty zigzag stitch, I believe.
Yeah, because this is about inappropriate. Just about.
I mean, unfortunately, being inappropriate doesn't work in your profession.
Right.
Since it's all men.
Men. Sitting man style is almost inappropriate. So, that's what I want.
Okay.
Can you do that for me?
I sure can.
Okay. And I probably have a shirt or two that doesn't fit me that you could probably tear up.
Okay. Looks like I have a custom order, folks.
Please help.
I will help you, my love. Of course.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're welcome. No
right.
problem. You're welcome. Love you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
To be continued, I guess. I'm back. It is 2 days later, and I have hardware. I found them on Amazon. It was like a 90-piece set. And I already went through and bagged them according to how I would need them. Whereas I will need 2 clips, 2 D-rings, and 1 buckle. Although I'm going to have an extra set of D-rings because I just need 2 clips and a buckle for my strap. So I'm going to watch the video so I can figure out how this has to be loop-de-looped on, and hopefully I'll be able to sew through the 4 layers of upholstery material.
A few moments later.
Okay, it is not an adjustable crossbody purse because by the time I got this shoved in there, it was entirely too tight to even like fuss with moving it around. So, and there we go. There it is. It's all done. Yay. Move my chair back. So, there we go. Right there on the hip. Crossbody purse. Crossbody purse. Ta-da! Non-adjustable crossbody purse. All right. I did it. It's all finished. Yay! Okay, she is finished. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching me struggle. I hope that you were entertained. And, would I do it again? Yes, I do like the way that it looks. I have come to realize that purse making comes with a lot of practice. And so, with this thought, until we meet again, love, peace, and thrift, and we'll catch you on the flip side.